Alright guys, as you can see, it's been a very productive night. Look at the amount of sea crates that we found. What a snake, guys. Alright guys, dinner has been had. We've headed out to our spot for the night. Everyone's already started walking. I was just behind putting on my shoes and changing batteries. But yeah, let's hit it. Very excited. It's our last and final night in Trang, and tomorrow we're off to Snake Island. But we've got a few more targets that we'd like to see here in Trang, so let's give it our best. So I've just been walking in the stream here, and I saw some species of Homolopsis stick its head up from underneath all this debris. Tried to go get it, but realized that this is actually really deep. So he's somewhere under here, and grabbing into there would be way too risky because he'd get away. So I'm gonna just stand here and hope that he sticks his head out again, and then I'll be able to grab him.
A few minutes later.
Alright, the suspect, as expected, has been respotted. In the middle there, you can just see his head poking out from under the leaves, and it is indeed a huge skull-faced water snake with really interesting head markings. Still a few steps away though, as you can see, and these leaves are like super sensitive. If I move, the whole thing like wobbles. So I'm gonna wait for him to stick his neck out just a tad further so I can get a more controlled grab. Also, when I walk over there, I'm probably gonna go like below my boots in water. But it's a new species for the trip, so definitely worth it. You can just see him in the middle there.
One eternity later.
Alright, just budge it a little bit more. Yep, it's about to happen. We are getting very close here, my friends. You can see him there. Yeah, it's a huge skull-faced water snake with really pale coloration on the head. Look at that. He's coming up for air, slowly but surely. Missed him. And I flooded my boots. Great. Just what I thought would happen. God damn it.
Okay. You want to keep heading up the stream?
Alright, great success. We've just been waiting for everyone to gather around before we approach the snake so that everyone gets to see it in situ. Let me climb up here, but this is a quite monumental find for us. You can see just through there, that vibrant green, that is a huge female Hagen's Pit Viper. Species you've seen on the channel many a time before, but what makes it special is that typically we get these in the deep south, so Yala and Narathiwat, and this is, believe it or not, the first one we've seen around here in Trang, which is probably what, like 7 or 8 hours north of where we usually get them?
Yeah.
Which is pretty significant, to be honest.
I mean, think about how much I lived here when I was a kid. I herped here so much.
Yeah.
And they are like so rare and restricted to these super deep forest areas.
That is crazy. It's a nice adult female too.
Yeah.
When they grow up, they get this like whitish blue face and on the sides, which juveniles and males don't have as much.
Is it laying an ambush position?
Yeah. What they'll do is they'll sit in ambush like that, facing the ground, usually near like a rock or some sort of natural barrier, because that's where like rodents and stuff will run along and they'll just pick them off. That is incredible. Alright, we've gotten close to take some photos and she started to climb. Which is actually some really neat footage. You can see her just climbing up here. Look at that. Making her way up this vine. Incredible. Alright, let's bring her down before she gets completely out of reach. Untangle her. Ooh, I hope I'm filming this good with one hand. And there we have it. Lovely, large female Hagen's Pit Viper, the closest relative in Thailand to the infamous Sumatran Pit Viper. Just like those, these are also an egg-laying species which were previously in the same genus, being Parius, but recently got moved to Trimerosaurus. I mean, look at the size of this next to my hand. That is gigantic. Absolutely incredible. Have a look at that. What a snake, guys. This was our #1 target here because Bank saw one here a couple of weeks or months ago. So we decided to come and give it a try to see if we couldn't get one as well. because this is pretty significant for the spot that we're in. Really not a common snake here. Alright guys, so we've done some photos, and as the species usually is, she is very, very well behaved, just crawling along my hook here. Fortunately, her head is on the wrong side, so you can't really see. Let me see if I can rotate this around, but she's trying to get away from the light, so it might not work. There we go. We've done some photography now, and as the species typically is, she is very well behaved, just gently crawling along the hook here, and we're about to release her. I just wanted to give you guys one last little good look at her before we send her off. Let me see if I can actually lift her off of here for a second and untangle her from the hook. There we go. Very, very decent length snake. Let me stretch her out here. You can see that is probably 1.1 to 1.3 meters, something like that. Not the biggest we've seen, but definitely up there, and a very, very good find for this area, because as I mentioned earlier, we've never seen the species around here before. Really, 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 really cool. When they get big like this, the sides of their head become really pale like that, unlike in smaller individuals where the head is just that neon green, typical of all your green beans. But she is absolutely gorgeous. Such a slow-moving, gentle snake, very closely related to the Sumatran pit viper. And I really want to keep herping, so we're going to let her go and not spend too much more time with her. Just going to let her crawl onto this log here, just a few steps away from where we found her. All right, let's find some snakes. All right, and just a bit up the stream, you can see down there in the distance the lights where they're still photographing the big female Hagens. Just a few paces further up, you can see another Hagens, this time a male, substantially smaller, a bit scrawny. He's got a strange little spot or something of some sort on his head there. If it will focus like there, I'm not really sure what that is. Some sort of discoloration. Looks a bit odd, but other than that, pretty healthy looking. Very, very nice red tail on it, as you can see there, which is more pronounced in the males. Beautiful. This one's not that big though. I put my hand there and you can see. Probably just going to leave this one though, not do too much with it, but really good that we finally have a spot in Trang where you can get these reliably. Alright, continuing the search, we got a Hechala micturizans in there, the Himalayan vine snake. Common species, not going to bother getting him down. Got better things to find. Alright, done a good bit of walking around here, didn't find too much else, saw a few more vine snakes. I went back to that pool but was never able to find that water snake again. So, having got our main target, the Hagen's Viper, we're going to head over to a different spot a few minutes away to try and target another viper, the white-lipped pit viper of the southern clade. So, I'm going to zoom over there and I'll see you there. Alright, we've just arrived at our next spot. The others are still a few minutes behind us. We're just going to start herping around. Oh wait, actually, I think that's them coming there. Anyway, this is our go-to spot for the southern clade of the white-lipped pit viper. Generally, they're fairly common around here, so let's hope we get one soon. And as expected, not long after starting our search, we have ourselves a young juvenile male of the southern clade white-lipped pit viper. As you may remember, this is the species that Rupert was bitten by in the past. Very painful little bites, not fatal, but they say of the green pit vipers, this is the most potent one, so best avoided. Spotted another adult. Way up there you can see his green tail, just above that rock there. I'm too lazy to climb up there right now, so I'm going to wait for the other bosses to retrieve it, and then I'll show you a better look. Alright, snake has been retrieved. Do you want
Just an adult male.
Do you want to poke it with a leaf, Rupert?
Oh, yeah, I've come face to face with the culprit, which caused me great pain and suffering for a limited amount of time, and then I was back herping in the field. Albeit with my arm in a sling.
Have you been bitten by?
This exact clade here, Tristan, in Trang.
Hey, how was it?
It was alright, actually.
It was a good old time. I got to visit him in hospital and laugh at him.
What symptoms?
Pain. Alright, so as you can see, Rupert got him down, And he's pretty defensive, honestly. He was striking at us quite a bit a moment ago, so I'm gonna play it on the side of caution here and not let the head get too close to me. But you can see there is actually a really nice little snake in very good condition. Often these guys will have like parasites and all sorts of weird lumps, but this one's a nice specimen. Look at his nice yellow eyes there, typical of Albalabras. Although the southern ones here, you can see it has like a slightly orange hue, whereas in northern Thailand they have like a more yellow hue to it. He's just trying to get away now, but I do have to be careful because these guys can and do turn around incredibly quick. So I'm not going to let that head get anywhere near me. But yeah, nice little southern clade Trimerosaurus albalabris, the snake that put Rupert in the hospital, his favorite species. What a pretty little snake. Just gonna put him on the rock here. I like this texture. Get some more photos in for the VIPs. Okay, it is day 8. We're about to roll out and we're heading for Snake Island. It's about a 40-minute drive to the pier. Just packed up all the cars. We'll be on our way. All right, we've arrived at the pier. Everyone's just loading into the boat as we speak. Pretty small boat this time, but if you look out there, the seas look pretty flat today, so it shouldn't be too bad. Unlike that first trip we did where the waves were literally coming over the boat. Someone just smacked their head into the roof. But yeah, about 30 to 40 minute ride, we'll be there in paradise. All right, we're on our way. The seas are looking very beautiful. It's a bit wavy, but not too bad. Absolutely amazing views. And you can see just off in the distance there, our target coming into view. All right, 40 minutes later, we have arrived, just pulling up to our resort now. Very nice and sunny. Waters are blue, although they're not looking that blue on camera, but it's looking very nice. Absolute paradise. All right, arrived on the island. First thing I decided to do was a bit of kayaking. I'm out on the water. I went around the island somewhat to a cave that I thought I would be able to enter, but the tide is way too low, as you can see, and the seas are also quite rough. Lots of waves crashing into the rocks here. And normally the water level would be about there and you can like drive the kayak into the thing. I was hoping to get some sea crates like nestled in some of the cracks, but unfortunately I do not think it's safe to go in there right now, especially with all my camera gear and stuff on this boat. Probably gonna head back and see what the others are up to. It's quite a ways away. I'm not quite sure what happened, but after kayaking I went to the room to get changed, fell asleep, and woke up and now it's dark. So we just had dinner and we're about to head out. Main target for tonight is of course the yellow-lipped sea crate and the Mangrove Pit Viper, but it'll be fun. We're always gonna see some unexpected stuff, so let's go. Just waiting for everyone to get ready to go out, and we've already got a tokay gecko. Not a very big one. Beautiful. You want to get it? Want to get a macro of it biting my hand?
Let me pull out his leg a little bit. Ready?
Oh, that didn't work. It did bite me, but the photo didn't work. We were literally just about to start walking, and before we even got to the area that you find them, Michael just found a small little one just crawling around on the ground here, right at the beginning. Not the most pretty one I've ever seen, but definitely nicely banded. The smaller ones have way stronger banding than the large ones. It does fade with age, but sometimes you see them quite a lot more banded than this one. This one's very dry. Seems like he's been out of water for a very long time. Very nice. I really hope that we can find laticauda, the blue one, which I failed at finding in Japan. But these ones are nice too. Anyway, I'm gonna stop filming now, as I'm sure we'll see very, very many more. Now that we've gotten the first one out the way, we're gonna do some actual searching. Most of the guys are probably gonna do the trail. I will go along the shoreline because that's usually way more productive. Whoever wants to join can. But yeah, get back to you once we've got something. Just spotted another sea crate just deep in that crevice there. He's now hidden his head away, but I'm gonna climb up there and perhaps I'll be able to retrieve him because I saw where he went. He should be. Yes, down there. You can just see him in there. Decent sized one too, with very nice banding. But me just see if I can reach down there and get him. Oh, crap. So while I was retrieving this one, the others found another one. Slightly, well, actually quite a fair bit larger one. This one has a lot of banding for its size, though.
Yeah.
Usually at this size, you could expect them to have
Very chunky.
quite a bit less banding
Oh, that is much larger.
compared to this one. Oh,
Oh, shit. Nastiness.
now he shitted. Yeah, this is a good size adult. Very nice.
Yeah, that was very, very, very.
But you can see what I mean by the bands being slightly more faded.
The tail.
Very nice. Others are still back there playing with those two that we just found, and I just came around a curve and look what I see there. Yet another one, possibly the biggest one yet, or at least similar. Yeah, this is definitely the biggest one yet. This is a really chunky adult female. Oh, and there's another one in there as well. I wonder if this is a mating pair. You can just, if you look in there, you can just see there's another one. Oh, he's disappeared now. Seeing as we've just found like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 of the sea crates within like 5 minutes, we're gonna actually leave the shore for a bit and do this little trail that runs slightly more off into the forest to try and find the other one of our targets, being the Mangrove Pit Viper, which is also quite abundant in these coastal forests here. Interestingly though, they don't live in mangroves here, which is quite atypical. That didn't take long. Literally 2 minutes after I recorded that last clip, we have the weirdest in situ ever. Right down here we have Trimeresurus purpurea maculatus, the shore pit viper, which was our other target, in situ, just sitting down on this little rock right on the beach side. You can see the ocean is right here. That is crazy. Not good. Out of nowhere, the strongest wind and it's starting to rain just appeared. And I'm pretty sure that within the next 5 minutes it's going to be absolutely pouring. So we're going to grab this little guy and move him to somewhere where we can take shelter if it does start raining heavier. Am I good to grab?
Yep.
Alright. Gonna just gently scoop this dude up. As I've mentioned before, they are extremely bitey and defensive in captivity, but in the wild, they're generally no different than any of your other vipers, whereas if you just treat them gentle, they don't really do anything. Not that I'm saying you should try this though, but who's got a bag that we can temporarily put this thing in?
Do we have another snake bag?
I gave one to you. It's right here.
Oh, could you open it?
Not right now.
Alright, another little critter that we don't always get here, but we have seen them before, is the Asian water monitor. And this is just a tiny little hatchling, but what struck me as really interesting about this guy is, look at his color. Typically when these hatch, they're like that bright yellow and black banded, whereas this one is almost entirely dark. This must be a high melanism individual, which is not too rare in the species, but I've personally never seen it in one this size before, so really, really cool. And he's actually not that bitey either. Oh, he's very jumpy though, but he's not trying to bite. Just come in close here and get a nice look at him. Very, very cute. Even the tail, which is usually the heaviest banded part, is almost all dark. Super cute little guy. Might actually bring the camera out and take a photo of this because they are uncommon. The underside though is more typical of what they're usually like. Super cute little dude. Look at just how well these sea crates climb. I mean, it's hard to show, but this is a decent way up. And when I come down here, look, there's like this very narrow rock crevice. And when I just shine my light in there, look in there, there's a smallish one just wedged in between there. And this is the sort of places they'll rest at night, and then during the day they'll come back out and go out to sea. All right, what on earth? Justin was just walking on the beach here. We're literally on the beach, and he saw a snake, and he thought it was dead, but it's not. And never in a million years would I have guessed the species that would show up on a freaking beach. This is Caliophus maculaceps, the small spotted coral snake, and a lapid. First one I've ever seen on the island here. Didn't even know they existed on the island here. They will, when they're threatened, as you can see, they will lift and curl their tail, exposing that bright underside. Let me see if I can get them to do it a bit more here. There, yeah, have a look at that. They are, obviously being in a lapid, a venomous species, but they are very small and not particularly bitey, so not really that dangerous. But, wow, I can't believe my eyes. freaking small spotted coral snake on a beach on a freaking island. That is the wildest thing. That is crazy. Being a venomous elapid, you would expect it to be dangerous, but these are actually really not that dangerous. Bites usually result in swelling and pain, but really nothing much else than that. There's not even any antivenom being produced for it, and the official recommended treatment by doctors for bites is paracetamol, so just mild painkillers. What a nice snake though. And if you have a look at the underside, their undersides are bright, bright red. It's a quite variable species. Sometimes you'll get them with like much more defined spots which almost turn into bands. This one is very, very pale and plain. You can see some very slight, small black spots on the body there. But this is probably the least spotted one I've ever seen here in the south of Thailand. In northern Thailand, I've seen some more spotted ones, but really, really cool. It's a very small species too, believe it or not. This is an adult. They can get a bit bigger, but I've definitely seen a whole lot smaller as well. That is wild. Can't believe it. Freaking coral snake on a beach. I've seen... That makes 3 snake species we've seen tonight, all of which are venomous. How crazy is that? Don't call it Snake Island for no reason, hey? Amazing. I'm gonna go find Rupert and make him guess what species just showed up on the beach here. I bet you never in a million years will he guess this. Really, really unusual. The tide is coming in and we were just climbing along the edge here trying not to get wet. And Aaron put his hand on that rock there, and then right next to his hand, I saw this little juvenile Mangrove Pit Viper like inches away from his fingers. That could have ended really badly. I mean, they're not really that bitey, but if you put your hand directly on it, I don't doubt that it would actually bite. Let's see what he's gonna be like here. Yeah. Oh, yeah, flaily little bugger. And these small ones are a bit harder to handle without getting bit, obviously, because they can reach you that much quicker. Very nice specimen though. I love the coloring on the head. Look at those like intricate patterns. Very small though, not very big. Super cute though. Anyway, I'm gonna go keep walking. Aaron going above and beyond to try and retrieve a really pretty sea crate that's wedged himself in a crack there. The only thing is the tide is really high and there's waves coming in here every now and then.
I need to finish off the stick.
Is the stick too thick? Alright, I'm gonna find you a better stick.
Yeah.
Nice! Hell yeah. What an effort, honestly. With waves like splashing him. Alright guys, as you can see, it's been a very productive night. Look at the amount of sea crates that we found. And this isn't even all of them. This is just a few we held on for photos, but we saw way more than this. They are absolutely everywhere, and we're about to release them here in this nice rocky area where they'll find plenty of crevices to hide in, and then tomorrow they'll go back out to sea. Anyway, I'm gonna put them down and let them all go off in their own directions. This is amazing. There they all go. A lot of them are heading back off towards the water. These are crawling over my foot. This has possibly been the most productive Snake Island trip we've ever done. So many of them. All right, next day we just woke up. It is, what, 11 a.m., something like that?
It's 11 a.m.
Our boat is pulling up there, but the waves are quite rough today, so the boat can only come to the shore, to the dock for like a minute, and we have to all quickly hop on. Just waiting for the final stragglers to get all their luggage. Most of us are already here, and boat guy is about to pull up, so I gotta go. All right, the boat can really only come close for a short amount of time, otherwise the waves will bash it into the concrete barrier. So this guy's like trying to navigate as close as possible without touching. And then we're all gonna like hop over to the boat. All right, here we go. All right. Ooh, one David Safid on board. This is rough.
Other people didn't watch their head.
Yeah, people are like bumping their heads jumping on here.
Distribute weight evenly. It's not you.
As long as Justin and I are on opposite sides.
Yeah. Bang, go on that side.
All right,
Okay.
everyone is on the boat
That was
at long
stress.
last. All right, we've survived the journey, made it back to dry land. Not sure what's going on there. The boat was like pumping water into itself. Anyway, not my problem. And yeah, gonna head to the car, and next stop is Satoon to catch snake. Any update on the vet, by the way?
Yeah, yesterday. Oh yeah, you weren't in the car. Yeah, snake's recovering.
Is
From
it?
surgery. Yeah.
Very good.
Expecting a new update today.
Nice. Alright, we're off the island and on our way to the far south, but we're just making a pit stop along a limestone karst area where we're hoping to find the limestone eyelash pit viper, a species that was just described last year, and without a doubt is Thailand's, well, southern Thailand's rarest viper. And it's a really cool one because it's the only Trimerosaurus that is diurnal, and also it's the smallest pit viper in the world. Unfortunately though, it's super turbo rare. I've only ever seen it once before. And yeah, as mentioned, it's very small. So we're just gonna be scanning these shaded rocky areas, searching for it in ambush on the rocks, because being diurnal, they feed almost exclusively on Snemaspies day geckos, which are abundant on these little rock formations. All right, we've made it down to the area. I just lost a large Indo-Chinese rat snake that went into some thick stuff. But yeah, we're gonna try and make our way over there and follow the limestone karst wall. Sorry, I've got the hiccups. I'm once again reporting to be climbing through some very claustrophobic, tight little spaces. There's a cave just down here. It goes really steep down, but in there you can see there's a large cave. I'm gonna have a look in there as well. I'm right now in this like little tiny claustrophobic cavern, just checking all of these rock crevices for the viper. All right, I've made it into the cave. Believe it or not, this is actually my first time into this cave. I've been to this spot before, but last time there was some severe flooding and the water was all the way up to the ceiling, so wasn't actually able to go inside. I'm gonna have a look around here and see if anything shows up. All right, guys, I've got a snake, but unfortunately it's on the other side of this massive river, and I don't immediately know what it is because it's dark and interesting. I'm gonna see if I can get over there before it gets away. Probably a wolf snake of some sort. How another snake on the other side. Again, can't really tell what that is. I think it's some sort of wolf snake. Why is there none on my side? That's so annoying. This water looks really deep as well. I've got to get over there somehow. Just made a massive detour and made it to the other side without having to go swimming. Now the great question will be, is the snake still there? So much effort. Watch it be like some really boring common species, but on second thought, I don't actually think it's a wolf snake because it had quite big eye shine, which is not something that wolf snakes typically have. There, I see it, it's still there. What the hell is that? Triangle keelback, maybe? I'm gonna put the phone away and try and get over there and get it. All right, this has to go down in the history books as one of the most not worth it things I've ever done. The snake ended up just being a triangle keelback, which is really odd to find in a cave, but a common species. But while I was trying to climb there, unfortunately, my main expensive torch fell out of my pocket and into there. And I'm currently debating if I'm gonna go swimming or not. But if not, I'm gonna be stuck without a decent torch for the rest of the trip, which would be not good. This is really annoying. All right, I'm out the cave with the keelback, showed the others. We've deemed it unsafe to go back and dive for the flashlight because that is filled with bat feces and all sorts of other crap. And I don't want to contract leptospirosis or some other tropical disease. After all, it is only a flashlight, but man, this has been one of the worst trade deals in the history of trade deals. Flashlight for very common snake.
Trade offer. You get triangle keelback. The jungle receives expensive flashlight.
Yeah, not good. Came to another spot about 5 minutes down the road. This is where Rupert found a huge king cobra in the past. We got a new frog for the trip. I think actually the first frog I've shown on camera this whole trip. This is Microhyla birdmorai, the birdmoor's narrowmouth frog, and they can jump incredibly far, probably like the furthest jumping frog in proportion to body size. I'm gonna show that in a moment after everyone's done taking a photo. All right, I'm about to show you how far this guy jumps. Switch to the wide angle lens to hopefully get the jump in frame. But you can see him down there. I'm gonna startle him a bit. Oh, of course now he's not jumping far. There we go. Don't even know where he went. Continuing the hunt for the limestone eyelash viper. I absolutely hate searching for these things because you have to walk around in the daytime when it's like 10 times as hot. Crazy. I've promised not to say this again on the channel, but major truncation. Rupert just broke his wrist. How did you manage that?
I slipped on a trail of all things, a slippery rock, and just fell with all my body weight on my wrist. Worst possible angle.
If you let go with your other hand, is it like limp, hanging?
No, I can still move it, but look at like what's...
Yeah, hold it sideways like that. Let me get like a top-down view.
I feel like I'm gonna be sick.
You got bandages?
If you've got a triangle
Yeah.
bandage, we can do a sling.
That is not good.
I feel like I'm gonna be sick.
Shoot.
We're on.
All right,
We should
some
be okay. Is it holding?
improvised first
Yeah, sure.
aid and off to the hospital.
Just get that. Good?
Not
Yeah,
good.
get in.
All right, off to the hospital we go. All right, solid 2 minutes later, we're pulling into the small local hospital. It's actually the good thing in Thailand that even if you're really remote, there's usually at least a small hospital or clinic within a few minutes drive. And in this case, it was not even like 3 minutes drive. So I'm sure we'll get him sorted out quite quickly and all will be well, although it will be really annoying for the rest of the trip.
Who said I will go?
All right, we've arrived in our destination. Rupert is still hours away in hospital getting multiple x-rays done. So they might be a bit later. We're just about to have dinner here along a lovely stream side. And then we'll go check into our ACOM and start herping once it's dark. Hopefully Rupert will join us by then, but who knows. Right, the boss is back from hospital, has arrived in the field with a mildly disabled arm.
Small handicap.
Small handicap.
Small handicap, major truncation.
Which does excuse him from swimming to retrieve snakes for the rest of the trip, so I'd call that a win.
Yeah, same. They can call me the truncated one from now on.
Right, everyone here, we're all ready to go into the field. We're gonna split up into different groups and see who finds the most stuff. Let's go. All right, first critter of the walk is this, I believe, Dihani, Scolopendra Dihani. Not super comfortable with these, but I'm trying to become more comfortable with these, so I'm probably gonna grab it. Yeah, because I don't know. I've always been really uncomfortable with them, and I find that exposing myself to them more leads to becoming more comfortable. You can grab these guys just like snakes, except that you don't grab from the left and right, because that could damage their legs. You grab them from the top and bottom. You can see there the lovely large black fangs on this guy. We've got very prickly legs as well, actually kind of painful to hold. Kind of like picking up a hedgehog. Cool little dude though. The other challenge is always releasing them again without getting done. There we go. Oh, he caught himself on the thing. That was impressive. Just sitting there. Alright, first snake of the trail. It is Rhabdophis chrysargos, the speckle-bellied keelback. The second one of the trip. Very, very pretty. Anyone want to get some in-situ photos, or am I good to grab him? Alright, time to get the good sir out. These guys are usually not very bitey, but very fast. Where's the head?
Down there.
Yeah, reach it, no, to your right, to your right, to your right. There, yeah, you have it. Don't let go.
Yeah, I got him.
Okay, let's see him. Oh, and as I said, they're usually not bitey, giving me a good old chew right in between my fingers.
Oh, it's one of these.
Oh, you can see the nice little dentition there now. Yeah, he is indeed a green boy. didn't look that green when he was in situ, but if you look there, I swear these must be rear-fanged venomous. There was a recent paper saying that they don't have venom glands, but if you look in its mouth there, I can see freaking rear fangs. What on hell? See, look there.
Yeah.
But did you also, Bank, did you see the paper that said they don't have venom gland?
I did.
But look in its mouth there. That is literally a rear fang. Very strange. Very, very weird. Anyway, we're going to bag this one up to show the others, and after which it will be released. 2 seconds after that Chrysargos, so they shouted snake. And what on earth? Male waggleri here. Never knew these existed here. Bank, have you ever seen wagglers here?
I have.
You have?
Female.
God damn it.
Bank, is there anything?
That is really cool. I've personally never seen wagglers here. Honestly, didn't even know they existed here. Nice adult male. I'll put my hand there so you can see the size. Probably just going to leave him in situ though, as we've already seen several of these this trip so far. Alright, and here we just got Hyosemi spinosa, a really rare turtle, which I think I've only seen 2 or 3 times, one of which was on this tour earlier in Phuket. But this is a much larger one. As you can see, it's lost most of the spikiness on the shell. It's very scratchy and nowhere near as beautiful as the one we saw in Phuket, but I absolutely love the venter on these guys. Look at that nice pattern. That is so beautiful, with those nice orange scales on the feet. That is beautiful. Really, really nice. I also like that line they have down the shell. What a nice turtle. Super rare. Got some sort of insect activity going on here, not PG. Cue the romantic music. And I'll leave them to it. Alright, our luck at the stream ran out, so we're driving to another spot just 3 minutes up the road where we know there is water, so gonna see if there's anything around there. Alright, we have arrived, and right off the bat, this is looking way more snake-friendly than the other place did. Yet to find something though, but we did only just start walking 2 minutes ago. The new spot produces new snake for the trip. Not a very spectacular snake, and definitely not a rare snake, but a snake that as a herper you don't actually get too often in the south. Mostly you see them during the day blitzing across the road, during which they get away about 98% of the time. And, can I see? Yep. The weirdest part about this one was that this guy was like just crawling through the grass, and Justin somehow managed to spot him. Typically these guys will sleep in trees. I've never found one this way before. That's why at first we were quite hesitant to grab it, because if you look at the top, it's just like a uniform brown snake with that like black edged scales, which southern kings as well as some monocled cobras have. And when he just shouted snake and he was pointing at the grass, I was like considering that it could be a cobra, but then it started moving at lightning speed, which pretty much rules out being a cobra. And we actually lost it briefly, but then I managed to re-find it and grab it. What a nice little snake though. Alright, just got off this tree. Giant Bronchosella cristatella, the green-crested lizard. And can I hold him for a sec? Yep. This is probably just about the biggest one I've seen. Really, really pretty. And they've got these nice, well, this one doesn't have it as much, like blue bands on the body, but he's already starting to turn brown, as they do. That thing is huge though. Definitely up there with the biggest ones of the species I've seen. Alright, I'm gonna turn off the video and get some photos before it goes all brown. Abandoned that stream because the habitat got bad, but found this like limestone wall with a cave which we're going to go into. The entry is pretty steep and narrow, but once you get inside, it's actually a reasonably sized cave. Just be careful not to slip. Immediately, literally seconds after crawling into the cave, we got a new snake for the trip. This is the striped morph of Lycodon subannulatus, which possibly could be a different species that just hasn't been split yet. This comes in 2 very distinctly different forms. This is the striped form, which is the less common one. And then you also get a banded and spotted form, which is the more common one. And the pattern honestly looks nothing alike, so potentially that could one day have room to be split into a different one. But for now, it still remains Lycodon subannulatus, one of the bridle snakes, which has now been moved into the Lycodon genus with the wolf snakes, but is really very different because these guys feed exclusively on gecko eggs. Fascinating. Really nice find, happy with this. Once we're into the cave, the local common southern Thai cave residents are of course here. Here's a nice tailless whip scorpion. And just over here next to the steps, we have a giant river toad. This isn't a very big one, but even this, very substantial. Let's keep going. All right, we've climbed really deep into a cavern and there's water in the cave all of a sudden. Pretty easy to walk here now though, so we're just gonna walk along and scan these edges. More. Got a roadkill melanota, and look, it's got a koros inside its stomach. A melanota that had eaten a juvenile Indo-Chinese rat snake, and then when it got squished, it came out. Now that is an interesting record. Never seen that before. I knew that melanota ate other snakes as well, but I've never actually personally seen it myself. Sorry for the graphic imagery, but it's a very interesting record. I just got back to the accommodation. Decided to do one last walk around the boardwalk. I found our first Smith's green-eyed forest gecko of the trip. Very similar to Tokay's, but obviously has green eyes, and believe it or not, they are a lot more painful to get bit by than Tokay's. And we were about to call it a night and go to bed when, just walking back, I just spotted, actually what I first saw was that Kelotes sleeping there, and then I glanced over, and back there's another snake resting on a frond. Based on what I see from here, I'd assume it to be the painted bronzeback, but it's a very strange place for one to be, because all of this down here is like waterlogged bog. Let's walk over there and try and figure out what that is. Surely that must be pictoid though, right? Just gotta make sure I'm not gonna Wait, there's two snakes. There's two snakes. Yeah. There's one there, and then one there.
Is this a two-man grab thing then?
Yeah, but they're really light. I'm pretty sure they're pictoid, but they're very light colored. Very light colored. We're gonna have to climb through the swamp to get there, so I'm gonna put the phone away for a second, or if someone can film. Yeah, it's just the southern clade weird pictus. I'm gonna try and retrieve that second one as well, if I can get to it. Got it.
Nice.
Yeah. I didn't immediately recognize them because they look very different to the pictus that we get around where I live. Very likely will be split to a different species at some point. The heads are so much smaller too. There you have it, guys. Two southern clade painted bronzebacks. Also, look at the pattern. It's so much more banded than the ones that we get, and the heads are really tiny. Very strange. Super interesting, though. The head was so small at first when I saw them. I thought surely that must be some other kind of bronzeback, but no, it is just pictoid. Really interesting. We'll be at it again tomorrow. All right, not another snake, but almost back at the rooms, and got a little tiny hatchling Draco, which is actually something I've never seen before. I've only ever seen adults. Have a look at this cute little thing. Tiny little Draco. I think Draco sumatranus? Not sure. They're hard to tell apart, and especially as juveniles. Really neat.